legacy is literally written in the stars
My
and
whole
carved
world
into
is
stone,
in my
like a
hand.
giant puzzle
A
of pure
frozen
genius that
silent
honestly
patch
still
of
fascinates us today.
land. A
So
flicker
let's just start
on
with
the
something you
wire.
probably remember.
I'm too
A
large
little
for
while
this
back, the entire
desire.
internet was buzzing with this idea that the Maya had predicted the world would end on December 21st, 2012. But was there actually any truth to that? Well, the short answer is no, not even close, actually. This wasn't some doomsday prophecy. It was simply the end of one huge cycle in their calendar and the beginning of a brand new one. And that calendar, that is the real key to unlocking the true genius of the Maya.
So let's try and separate the Hollywood myths from the actual historical truth. It's time to meet the real Mayan people and explore the incredible civilization they managed to build. The Mayan civilization thrived across a huge area, covering what we now know as the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, plus Guatemala, Belize, and even parts of Honduras and El Salvador. For centuries, they were one of the most powerful and advanced cultures in the ancient Americas, famous for their mind-blowing achievements, and of course, their equally mysterious collapse.
And their history is just immense, spanning thousands of years. Historians usually break it down into three main chunks. You got the pre-classic, which is where they laid all the groundwork and built their first big cities. Then comes the classic period, from 250 to 900 CE. This was their absolute golden age. And finally, the post-classic, which was a period of decline that led all the way up to the Spanish conquest. Okay, so how do we know so much about their history, their kings, and what they believed? Well, it's because they left behind this incredible treasure trove of information, literally carved in stone and written down in books.
You see, they developed the only complete writing system in all of ancient Mesoamerica, the Maya glyphs. And this was not just a collection of simple pictures. Oh no. It was this sophisticated blend of signs that represented whole words and phonetic symbols that stood for sounds, which let them express incredibly complex ideas.
They recorded their history in a couple of key ways. They had books made from tree bark called codices, but, and this is tragic, Spanish priests burned almost all of them. So our main source of knowledge really comes from the thousands of inscriptions they carved onto their pyramids, onto stairways and stone monuments. These things detail everything from the daily lives of their kings to epic wars and their deepest religious beliefs. Now, this ability to record information, it paved the way for their most incredible achievements, especially their unbelievable understanding of time and space. They wove it all together into this magnificent calendar of the cosmos. This quote right here really gets to the heart of their genius. The Maya were brilliant astronomers. They were charting the heavens with stunning accuracy. And what's truly mind-boggling is that they did it all with just their naked eyes, looking up at the sky from their temples and observatories. No telescopes. And what they accomplished was just wow. They could predict solar and lunar eclipses with accuracy. They calculated the cycle of the planet Venus at 584 days, a number that is almost perfectly correct. To the Maya, all these events in the sky were messages from the gods, and they used them to figure out the right times for everything, from planting crops to starting a war. So to track all of this cosmic motion with that kind of precision, they needed an equally precise system for tracking time. And this fundamental need is what drove them to create one of the most complex and ingenious calendar systems the world has ever seen. And what a system it was. They didn't just have one calendar, they had three, and they all worked together like these intricate cosmic gears. First, there's the Tzolk'in, a 260-day sacred calendar used for religious ceremonies. Then you have the Hab, a 365-day solar calendar for things like farming. And finally, the big one, the long count, which was designed to track enormous stretches of time. Just how enormous are we talking? Well, a single cycle of their long count calendar lasts for about 5,125 years. This right here is where that whole 2012 myth came from. That date wasn't the end of the world. It was just the day one of these massive cycles finished and a new one began. Kind of like the odometer on your car ticking over. But this deep connection to the cosmos wasn't just kept in books or calendars. No, the Maya built it into the very fabric of their cities, creating their most iconic legacy, their pyramids for the stars. And this is just brilliant. Mayan pyramids were so much more than tombs. They were these multifunctional hubs for religion, politics, and astronomy. They had that classic stepped design with a temple right on top for rituals, which, yes, included human sacrifice. But their real genius is in their alignment. They were built to line up perfectly with celestial events. The most famous example is at Chichen Itza, where on the equinox, the sun casts a shadow that looks exactly like a giant serpent slithering down the pyramid staircase.
So, what kind of society could create such incredible wonders? Let's take a quick look at the culture behind the science and try to bring all these different threads together to really understand their lasting legacy.
Well, Mayan society was deeply, deeply religious. Their kings were seen as divine figures, a direct hotline to the gods on earth. Practices like human sacrifice and bloodletting were seen as absolutely vital rituals to keep the gods happy and the cosmos in balance. And the foundation of their entire world? Maize, or corn. It was sacred. They actually believed that the gods had created humanity from it.
So, let's just quickly pull it all together. The genius of the Maya. Their writing used these complex glyphs to record their history. Their astronomy was stunningly precise, all without modern tools. Their calendar was this beautiful, interwoven system of 3 different cycles. And their pyramids were massive stone observatories, aligned perfectly with the heavens. And all that really brings us to our final thought. When you consider everything they accomplished, from their intricate writing to their cosmic calendars, you're just left with this one big, awe-inspiring question. Without telescopes, without computers, how on earth did this ancient civilization manage to understand the cosmos with such